Do I have any regrets? Black women in toxic jobs. I'm going to talk about this from the perspective of, do I have any regrets about being at a toxic job previously? Do I have any regrets about leaving? Because you may be somewhere in that continuum. You may be thinking about leaving your job, but not quite sure. You might be stuck, whatever that might be. And you might even be thinking about, beating yourself up about, why did I even take this job in the first place? Why am I still here? So all of that doesn't really help us. And so I want us to just think about, you know, do you have any regrets? And if you do have regrets, these are fixable issues. The hope is that they're fixable issues. So I want to just talk to you for a little bit about regret. So regret doesn't feel good. We all know that. So I want to talk to you from the perspective of when I was at the job and then when I left. So if you don't already know me, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I am committed to helping as many Black women as I can to leave and heal from toxic jobs. So no matter where you are on your journey of leaving a toxic job, I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. My videos might be just a way for you to start preparing yourself, start self-reflecting, getting your mind right so you can get ready to go. If you are in a position where you are more clear in terms of you want to go, then let's book a discovery call. We can talk about the possibility of us working together. So I wanted to put that out there. Now, in terms of regrets, I don't have any regrets about working at that job. When I first started working at that job, it was a wonderful experience. I had two Black women supervisors who were outstanding. I'm still very close to them now. I had a really good team. We were working together as a team, and I really enjoyed the work that I was doing for many years. But once they left, it kind of went downhill after that. I didn't really have I didn't have the support in many ways. Now, I had some supervisors who were good after them, but they really were the ones who really nurtured me in that space and really supported my growth. So they were able to see what I was able to contribute, and they supported that. So that's how you tell that you are in a good working environment. So a good working environment, people are there to support you. They are supporting your growth. They see the value that you have to the organization. So again, no regrets in terms of me working there, even in the sense of by me working there, I not only grew in terms of the different training opportunities that I received and being able to train others based upon how I was trained. So now I'm very familiar with training people. I do that now. That's part of what my business is training other people. So I appreciate that. So no regrets about that. No regrets about so many wonderful people that I met at that job, many of whom I'm still connected to, some of whom are my sister friends. So no regrets about that. No regrets about the work that I did. I'm very proud of the work that I did. So no regrets about that. And no regrets in the sense that because I worked at that job, all of my student loans were forgiven. So I'm very grateful for that. So if I didn't even work at that job or something like that kind of place, I wouldn't have had my student loans forgiven. So extremely grateful for that. Not that they did that, but I'm just saying because I worked in an entity and this public service loan forgiveness program. So I'm so thankful for that. Now, in terms of do I wish that I was back there? Absolutely not. So, are there things that I miss about it? Yes, I absolutely miss some of my colleagues. I miss working with the kids. I miss working with parents. I miss that part. I miss training people. I do miss that part. But any regrets about leaving? Absolutely not. And I wanted to talk about it because I actually had a dream last night that I was back there. I was back at that job, similar type of situation. It was like I saw some of the same colleagues in my dream. It was the same kind of setup. And I'm sitting in there in my dream thinking, why am I here? I already resigned. how in the world can I be back in the same place? And I felt it. You know, like when you have a dream and it feels so real, like you feel like you're back there. It felt like that. And I could not understand why I was still there. And I was sitting there. I remember in the dream, I was sitting there and I was thinking, I got to get out of here. It's no way I can stay here. I didn't want to be back here in the first place, and it's no way I can stay here. And so I remember my dream that I think it was a break, and there were some colleagues talking, and I think they were talking about I needed to sign up for this or I needed to do this because it was mandated or whatever. And I said, no, I'm not doing that because I don't want to be here. And so they were trying to convince me in my dream, and I think it was like black women in my dream. They were trying to convince me of why I needed to do this thing or else I was going to get in trouble. Now that reminded me of actual situations I had at the previous toxic job where people would tell me to do something or I was going to get in trouble. And it was more so in terms of not speaking up or not advocating for myself and I was going to get in trouble. So that I think that was a memory of that. So anyway, in my dream, which was really a nightmare, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world do I get out of this place? So in the dream, we took a break. And as I'm on the break, I remember trying to contact my therapist saying, I need to speak to you immediately. I need a session immediately because I need to figure out how did I end up in this place and how do I get out? In the dream, I remember thinking about I had already gotten out and I was doing very well. Why in the world would I go back there? Like all the stuff that I was doing before, why would I give that up to go back to this place? So it didn't make any sense. I also remember in that dream talking to one of my former coworkers, and this coworker was talking about this place is so horrible. They don't support you. There's a lot of distrust. People talk about you behind your back. Like this person in my dream was saying this. So again, when I think about regrets, I don't regret working there. I don't regret any of that. I do regret, this is what I do regret. I do regret a few things. I regret that it took me so long to get the courage up to leave. I regret that because I experienced a lot more harm during that process. So I was so crippled by fear. I couldn't move past the fear. I had friends, sister friends around me, my family, people supporting me. Please leave. Please leave. This is not healthy for you. I had coaches. I knew I could pivot to other things, but I was stuck by fear. That is my one regret. My one regret is that I did not leave sooner. And the reason I didn't leave sooner was I had the fears that I hear so many other Black women talk about, the fears of what am I going to do next? Is this going to be enough? Whatever I do next, is it going to be enough to replace the income I have now? All those fears, and I could not lean into things are gonna be okay. I was stuck. And so it finally got to a point where things just built up, built up, built up, where I could no longer say I can stay here because it was that harmful to me. So you may be on that progression too. And that's why I talk about the progression, because generally there's a series of events that lead up to you saying you want to go. And again, I have no regrets about that part. Now, the part about me having the regret that it took so long for me to leave, and you might be struggling with this too. So something that I have to practice for myself and something that might be helpful for you is to practice self-forgiveness. Is that I have to remind myself of where was I when I was stuck? What was the mind frame that I was in? What were the issues that kept me stuck? So I have compassion for that. I understand, well, it wasn't easy for you because you were terrified. You were very fearful of leaving. And so I have to look at it from that perspective, not the perspective I'm in now. So the perspective I'm in now is totally different because I'm out here. I've seen that I can do extremely well, much better financially. My state of mind, everything is so much better. But I didn't know that at that time. So again, I have to practice that self-forgiveness. And I have to think about remember where you were just a year ago. And I invite you to think about that too. So when we're on the progression, we might say, I'm stuck, I've not made any movement. I would say any movement you're making is a step forward. If you're watching these videos and you're self-reflecting on your experience, what you want, what the toxic job is like, how it's impacting you, and you're starting to even think about it and self-reflect, that is a step forward. So start thinking about that. So think about what you are doing. Let us not focus on beating ourselves up about what we have not done. Now, again, if you're in a situation like I was in, I said before, I've used coaches, and so I want to make sure that I talk about ways I can support you too. So when you think about the videos, like I said before, the videos might be like the baby steps, like when you swim and you dip your toe in the water and the water is cold and you're like, oh God, I want to get in here. And then you eventually jump in and you get used to the water. So that might be what the videos are. My videos might be easing you into the process of thinking about leaving that toxic job so you can develop the courage to eventually leave. And if you need additional support with trying to get out of that toxic job, then book a discovery call with me and we can talk about that. We can talk about your job, what you're looking for, your timeline, and we can come up with an exit plan. So if you are ready, then click the link in the description section. We can have a discovery call and we could talk about that. Okay. Now, as I'm signing off, I want to say one thing too. So as you are in a toxic job, you may start thinking about, I want to get out, but I can't leave immediately, right? So what are the things that you can do for yourself as you are in the process of leaving? So for me, I absolutely was in therapy. I absolutely prayed every day, listened to music, talked to my family. So think about what is your I call it like psychological armoring as you go into the workplace. And I also used to wear this pin every day. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. It says, I can, I will, because I knew that the toxic job was harming me, but I would not let it destroy me. I would not let it destroy me, and I would not let it destroy the dreams that I had for myself. It tried. There were some dream killing moments, but I refused. I was like, nope. I worked too hard to get where I'm at in my personal life, in my professional life. No, you're not doing that. So I will wear this button every day to remind myself that I can and I will. Can't stop, won't stop. This situation's not going to stop me. Now, it kind of knocked me down, but guess what? I'm a rise up and I'm a rise up higher. And the way I'm rising up higher now is not only doing well, but I'm also helping other Black women to freedom and to safety and to them living a better life. Okay. So, again, if you are ready and you are trying to get out of there and you're like, can you support me? How can you support me? Let's talk. So, book a discovery call and we can talk. Okay. So, again, you may have regrets either about working at that job, leaving, but think about the regrets. Think about a job may not have been all bad for you. There may have been some things that you got from there. Maybe you outgrew it. Maybe it's just time to go. Maybe you look at other opportunities. The job might not even be toxic, but maybe you're not growing. Maybe you want other opportunities. So, again, pay attention to that for yourself and do what you need to do. Start preparing yourself so that you can start getting ready to go. Okay. So I'm signing off and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.